Hey, it's Dino from Digispin Crypto, and today we have something really awesome. We got a package in the mail. Well, it was probably UPS, and of course they put a hole in the box, but we got our ASIC. We happened to purchase an Antminer X3. It's in the video that you see right behind me, and we're gonna unbox it and set it up, and I'm gonna tell you so far. Now, I've only had about an hour to play with it, so not a whole lot of details yet on the performance, but I want to tell you about my experience so far with the Antminer X3. So let's get to it. Now, don't forget, you need to like, comment, and subscribe. Put any comments you have down below. But definitely click that subscribe button so that you get alerted every time that we produce a new video here at Digispin Crypto. And that's important. So let's put that logo up there. And let's take a look. So what I got in the box is an Antminer X3. Did a little research. X3 seems to be the most popular from Antminer, but there's definitely a limited amount of batches that were produced. So getting your hands on one's pretty tough. I happened to get a really good deal on it. That first batch was $12,000 because you could clean up when you first throw them on the environment and make that money back in short order. Obviously, the price for the second and third batch, the third batch, for example, was about $2,900 or $2,500. So I happened to get a really good deal on one. As soon as it transferred back Electroneum to ASICs, there were some ASICs being sold on Amazon, and so I was able to scoop one up at a decent price. And I'm sure I've already seen the prices double what they were just a few days ago, and chances are it's going to do that more because they're going to be a limited supply. Now, you can also take a look and see if you can find yourself a Bikel miner. They have the 240, the 70, and the N plus, the B. These not the B, that's Blake. The N plus and 240 and N70 seem to be the direction that they went, and so you would want to try to find one of these if you're going to get yourself an ASIC. So it's been a lot of fun. So what I want to do is tell you a little bit about our unboxing and unveiling of the product when it came in, so you can take a look at my experience as it happened in kind of real time. So let's bring up our video screen, and I'm going to pause and narrate as we go along if the moment, because you know I was just kind of talking and mumbling into the phone as I was recording this. Now keep in mind, I was holding the phone with one hand and trying to use a pair of scissors or whatever on the other hand, so there are times where I had to stop and edit and go back and forth. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so our Antminer came in and our power supply, and there's another power supply that we have to get. This came in pretty good. Now, normally you have a secondary power supply because what happens is they recommend that you power up the cards first that have all the ASIC chips on it, then power up the fan controller board. I happened to get a power supply that from Bitmain that had that extra, so I powered the whole thing with just the one power supply, and it seems to work just fine. Looks alright. The Antminer box has a single piece of tape on it on the bottom. It did look like it got some damage in shipping here. We did report it. I didn't see any damage to the equipment, but we reported that it obviously got caught. But let's take a quick look here. at what we got. Let's open this puppy up. All right. And we'll get this box open up here. Yeah, it was kind of hard because I only got one hand. So in here is our power supply. We got all of our cables on the table here, and that looks like it's in good shape. And looks like we'll be doing all right. That's the first time I've watched this. This is our power supply that's going to run our ant miner. And so let's take a look at the top of this box here. Let's see if we can... Sorry about the fingers. I got big fat fumbly fingers. It's hard with one hand. Alright, so the miner comes with some instructions on the top there. Came in a Bitmain box with some Chinese writing on it. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, so ant miner, and these are all the good things before powering it up, and their return policy. Now I'm gonna have to tell you, the instructions that they give you are sparse. I mean, really Spartan. There's you know, nothing on there really. It just tells you just to inspect it, check it out. Make sure there's no damage. You know, we have a return policy, but don't do this, don't do that. You're gonna have to really kind of do a little research and to find out all of the extra details by going to the Antminer, the Bitmain website. But I'll give you some of the specifics from our experience. Let's continue. The basic warranty, and got this through Amazon, so I think we'll be in good shape. Alright, I'm gonna put this camera down here for a second so I can pull this out of the box, because I'm gonna need two hands. It looks pretty heavy. Alright, so basically at this point I had to you know, yank the thing out of the box, unpackage it, get it ready for me to get it on the table so I can show you a little bit more. What I'm going to do is run the second video after I obviously pulled it from the box. So we pulled it out of the box there, removed the wrapper on the side. It appears to be sealed in an anti-static bag. So that's kind of good news. It's not taped anywhere. Take a look at the bottom. Ah, there's our tape. So let's get our scissors here. Like that. And let's pull out our piece. Alright. It's hard one-handed here. Okay. Alright, cloud mining technology. We got our Antminer X3, and everything looks good. It's reasonably clean. It's got a little warranty seal on it, so people don't go inside and mess with it. I don't see any dust or anything. Even on the inside, it looks clean in there. It's hard to believe that it's been running, but it's possible. Now, to be honest with you, I was expecting it to have been used and, you know, completely like boom, blown up and dirty because I expected Bitmain to have used this thing for quite a while. I was shocked and surprised at how clean it was. So they either ran them in a clean room or they ran them for just a short period of time on this particular production run, which was probably batch 3. So that's my thought on that.
Well, I mean, they had to burn it in. There's a good chance they've been running it for a while. The fan is clean. Has no dust on it. And I don't see any dust on the inside there, looking inside. So, looks like we got what we were supposed to get, which was a brand new Antminer X3. And so we're pretty excited to get this online. Next we'll have to hook up all of our power supplies and another power supply that will go here off of a general purpose APX supply. And
that's the part where I was telling you that I ended up just using the power from the Bitmain supply because I had that one extra connector to power up the motherboard. So I wasn't sure if it was going to work because they had recommended one before the other, but it seemed to work. The one odd thing that kind of threw me is there's no off-on button from the power supply. You gotta literally, you know, yank the cord out of the back of the darn thing, and you know, it doesn't cost a whole lot of money for a switch. You know, what are you gonna do though? Let's continue.
We'll get this connected to the network, and yeah, this looks great. I'm pretty excited. I'll start to put this together, and then we'll take a look and see where it goes from there.
All right, so basically from this point, I you know, set it up on the desk, plugged in all my cords, and from the power at the top, and you know, plugged in my my network cable and powered it up. Now, a couple of things that come into play. You have to access the miner through a web browser. So basically, it connects to the device, and then you can configure it through the web browser. Now, of course, you got to know the IP address. So there's 2 ways to go about that. You can download the toolkit from Bitmain. I didn't want to put any extra software on some of my other machines, so I just logged into my my router. I took a look at all the devices that were connected, found one that didn't belong, identified the IP address, and then I went to that IP address. That's basically all their software does, and it makes it easy if you don't have the ability to do that. But you know, that's one option, or you can download their software from their website and it'll identify itself to you. Now, once you've done that, you'll be able to connect to it from the web browser. So let's bring up this last video.
Okay, so I got my Antminer set up. I have my power supply. I've routed everything to the Antminer itself. Plugged in my TCP/IP connection on my local LAN, and as soon as you turn it on, the puppy started to run. Now they have defaults set to run on the Antminer pool, so you're basically running for them for the first few minutes. And the big key here now is that don't worry about all this hardware. This is a rig that I'm testing. So basically, the big key is to find the IP address, because you need a web browser, and you go to the local IP address on your local area network, and you open up the web page, and you log into the unit, and from there you can then configure it. Now I use Nanopool, and I was using Nanopool, so I was able to just cut and paste my, because you have to have your account.
No off-on button. How does that happen? No off-on button on this whole thing. You gotta literally take the plug and yank it out of the machine and plug it back in. That stuff like that makes me crazy. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Right, your ETN account that you want the money to go to. You put a dot and then the name of the rig, and then I use a slash and then a password, so I can make modifications on Nanopool. And you can check Nanopool out for all the directions for that. And then I removed the Antminer pools for pool 2 and 3, which are backup pools, because you can set up the 3 backup pools in case Nanopool goes down. You can have it auto swap over to another pool system. And so I just set it up right now for Nanopool. I love Nanopool. They've been real supportive of Electroneum, so I'm going to stay with them. And and then it basically just started to mine. I did a reboot, and it's going out there now. The fan can go a lot louder, but it appears that it doesn't need to, and it's staying at a nice, reasonable sound. It's actually not as bad as I expected. It's probably about 30% of where it needs to be. I'll take a look at the status page, and I'll show you some up close and front information. But once you do that, it just starts mining, and it's probably one of the easiest things I've ever done in my life regarding mining, and shockingly simple. And I had it running for like 3 minutes, and it made 86 ETN. So I'm going to let it run for a little bit and build up, see where it takes us. It definitely is running faster than the 220. Get about 236, and I'm not doing any overclocking. The warranty tells you not to do that, and I'm just going to leave it as such and go from there. So next up, we'll look at the interaction, the web page for the Antminer, and the different things that you can do with it. All right.
Okay, so that's basically the video. And now I did tell you that I was going to use Nanopool, and the problem that I had is that I set it up with Nanopool, and Nanopool was only allowing or showing that it was running about 60K, and when it should be doing 220K. I'm scratching my hat trying to figure out what that is, Sam. What's going on here? And basically, what I figured out is that the difficulty that they set it to, they set it to like 600,000. It should be, the difficulty should be set around 2 to 3 million, so that the device can work correctly. What happens is if the Antminer produces a result too fast, it gets rejected. So I was getting tons of rejections. Most of my work was getting tossed in the trash. And so, I put in an email into Nanopool to try to get some feedback if they have a special port set up for the ASIC, static-wise. Or otherwise, I just can't use them because I'm not going to run the machine at 60K when I can be doing 220 to 240 out of it. So I ended up jumping ship and going over to Space Pools temporarily. I'm going to give them a try, see how it turns out. And they have a decent, they seem to get a block every 10 minutes. And we'll see if we actually get paid out. You can see here the Electroneum network was 3 minutes ago. It found a block, but Space Pools is running around 7. I noticed it to be around 10 minutes. So it's gonna be they say 20 down here, but it's been faster than that. And then I want to make sure that I'm actually getting credit for my my hash work, and that it does show up on the system before I let it just sit there and run all night. So I'll keep you posted on this and see how this turns out, and hopefully I'll get some feedback from Nanopool. I like Nanopool. They supported Electroneum. I'd like to give them my business so they can make a little bit. They do charge 2%. Spacepool, I believe, is only, yeah, it's, you know, percent. It's a lot less, and we'll see how that turns out. Now, when you connect to the Antminer, it's got some pretty nice stuff. You open up your web browser, go to your IP address, and voila, you have access to the Antminer. And it's kind of sexy, and that works out. It's kind of standard process. Tells you a little bit about the environment that it's made of. I had no idea that they were actually running Linux internally to the device, so that was kind of neat. Memory available, what's free, all that good stuff. IP configuration. Now under system, you have all these additional tabs, so you can set up, change the password when you first get it. They have some monitoring and tools that are here. You can download the new firmware. Now I believe there is a new firmware. I'm gonna have to double check to see what version of firmware this device has, because if they've upgraded it, I'm gonna have to upgrade that firmware and send it over to it, and you can generate it and then send it out to it. Obviously you have a reboot command. In the configuration, this is where you set up your pools, and that's where you want to make all these good things happen. So what I did is I left pool 1 because I had Nanopool in there. I'm going to reset that back up, but I set up Space Pools. Space Pools uses port 9000-999. You put in your worker, an @ sign, and then you put your 3 million, so that you can manually set the difficulty. If the difficulty is too low, most of your work gets rejected. You don't get your hash rate. Simple as that. You're wasting your time and money. So you got to get that put in place, and that configures it for you. Now you do have the ability to have, you know, the ability to overclock the device. You can set different timing settings here. I'm just leaving it at the default for now. So my status. This basically is showing you now. You know, they tell you this is going to get 220. You can see here I'm pulling 232, and that's directly on the device itself. It's telling me 232. The Space Pools is telling me even more. I've seen it as 260, 280, but you know, I'm going to kind of stick with what's on the device itself. And then you know, it goes and tells you the type of work that's happening and all the good information. You'll see you'll have a total of 3 cards that's inside the ASIC, and you can see what each card, the hash rate for each card. So I got 75, 80, 76, and then of course your fan speed. There's some more statistics over here, but I'm not going to show you that because then I'll give away all my IDs and all that good stuff. So just what you get to see. Now in the network, this here is, you can set it up to, most devices when you plug them into your network will get a IP address sent to them from the DHCP server or services. It's basically an IP lease, so that it knows how to talk to it. You can also manually, what's called statically, define the IP address and put in all your other good information here. The gateway, the mask, then the gateway tells it where the router is, and then you have to set up your DNS servers and all that good stuff. There's some diagnostics that seem to go out to Bitmain. Does a lookup, a trace, and a ping, if you wanted to check all that good stuff. So this kind of gives you all the basics. I have to tell you, it's super simple. It's almost a plug and play. The big key is understanding your pool and how they want your username set up. So usually you have your address, your mining address, and then they usually have some additional variables that you can set, and you put that in as one thing as your user ID, and you know, and it just works. And so whatever pool you go to, they'll tell you how to set it up. There's quite a few different pools out there, and that would be good for another video. So that's it so far. I'll let you know how they turn out and how the performance of the ASIC is. You know, Electroneum went this route to stabilize it. I've seen some spikes here and there trying to create some peaks, but it's not even touching the timing. Everything's just working so far awesome, and I have a lot of hope for Electroneum. They just have so much up their sleeve. You know, this is just one small part of it, my participatory part of including myself in the Electroneum network. So I'm having a lot of fun. I hope this was interesting and you enjoyed it. And wrong button. I gotta move that button to the other side so I don't hit that. You enjoy it? Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. And the object here is so that we can see Electroneum start making some dollars, and we'll have bills falling all over the place. Now, I don't have a reason to throw the dollars around. Enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.